She hasn't messaged you. She's not calling. No, I miss you. No, I want you back. But your photos are still there. She's still watching your stories, still lurking in silence. You haven't heard her voice in weeks, but somehow you feel her presence. And you start asking yourself the question that's keeping millions of men up at night. Is she done with me? Or is she waiting for me to reach out? Now stop. Take a breath. Because what you're feeling isn't weakness. It's a question your soul is begging you to answer. And what I'm about to reveal could save you from months, maybe years, of confusion, desperation, and emotional chaos. But only if you stay with me. Because this isn't just a video. This is a call out to every man who's ever felt lost in the echo chamber of seen but not heard. Every man who's scrolling through her feed at midnight. Every man still checking the viewer list like it holds secrets. Every man who's wondering why she hasn't blocked you if she's really done. Comment, I see the signs, if you're done second-guessing your worth. Because I promise you, today you'll walk away with clarity. Not just about her, but about you. About what you need to become to stop needing the answers in the first place. We're diving into the signs she's waiting for you to reach out, and what to do when you recognize them. Number 1. She's still watching your stories. She hasn't spoken to you in days, or maybe it's been weeks. No message, no call, not a single word. But there she is, sitting quietly in your story views like a ghost that never left. Every post, every reel, every piece of content, somehow, some way, her name always pops up. And if you've seen it, if you've noticed it, if it's gnawed at the back of your mind like a question with no clear answer, that's because she wants it to. She wants you to see her presence without hearing her voice. It's not accidental, it's not neutral, it's deliberate. She's letting you know, I'm still watching, but she's not saying it. Why? Because if she says it, she has to be vulnerable. If she texts you, she exposes herself. But if she watches your stories, she gets to keep control. You see, in today's world, attention has become a new currency. It's no longer about words or actions, it's about visibility. And if she's showing up in your views, she's still emotionally attached in some way. Even if she doesn't know what she wants, even if she's confused, she's still making the decision to be near enough to be noticed, but far enough not to be called out. And for many men, this drives them insane, because it keeps you hoping, it keeps you doubting, it keeps you chasing shadows instead of facing reality. You start to second-guess everything. Was it a mistake? Does she miss me? Is this a sign she wants me back? And while you're stuck in that cycle of analysis, she's watching silently, feeding off the energy you pour into wondering. But here's the truth you must accept. Real communication isn't passive. Real care doesn't show up in pixels, it shows up in presence. If she wanted to truly speak to you, she would. She wouldn't just lurk behind a screen. She wouldn't hide behind algorithms. She wouldn't rely on social media to send emotional signals like a silent radio broadcast you're expected to interpret. What she's doing is keeping the door cracked just enough for your mind to wander, but never enough for your heart to walk through. It's psychological limbo, and it's designed to keep you unsure, tethered, emotionally unstable. She wants to know she still matters to you. She wants to know you haven't let go. That's why she's still there. That's why she watches every update. But she doesn't reach out, because if she did, she'd be the one taking the risk. She's hoping you do it first. She's hoping your emotions outweigh your logic. She's hoping your desire for closure will make you fold. And that's why you can't give in. Not because you're playing games, but because you value your peace. You value your mind. You value your purpose more than you value ambiguous signals. Because a man on a mission doesn't pause to decode breadcrumbs. He moves forward, builds upward, and lets those who left sit in the silence they created. You don't need her views to validate your value. You validate yourself through consistency, discipline, and self-respect. And when she watches you and sees that you're not watching her back, that you're no longer baited by her subtle attempts to remain relevant in your mind, she'll realize something she didn't expect. She lost a man who wasn't dependent on attention to thrive. She lost a man who refused to be emotionally puppeteered by passive interaction. So keep posting if you want, but never for her. Post to document your evolution. Post to show yourself what progress looks like. Post for the future version of you who never had to look back to move forward. Number 2. She asks about you through friends. You're sitting at home. Maybe it's a quiet afternoon or late at night. You're trying to move on, trying to heal. You haven't reached out. You've respected her space. You've swallowed the pain and tried to build from it. But then, out of nowhere, one of your mutual friends drops a casual line. She asked about you. And suddenly, your chest tightens. Your mind starts racing. Why did she ask? What did she say? What does that mean? And before you know it, the emotional floodgates reopen. She's not calling you. She's not texting you. But she's asking about you. And that's not meaningless. That's not random. That's calculated. She wants to know, but not from you. She wants to hear about you, but not through your voice. Because asking through friends gives her what she wants most. Information without vulnerability. Control without exposure. And in that moment, you're not just a person to her anymore. You're an idea, a possibility, a what if. But here's what most men miss. They think, if she's asking, maybe she still cares. And yes, maybe she does. But care without action is nothing. Curiosity without courage is useless. A woman who genuinely wants you back will show it. She won't send smoke signals through social circles. She won't whisper your name to your friends like she's afraid of her own feelings. She'll reach out. She'll show up. But if she doesn't, then her asking is about control. It's about knowing where you stand without letting you know where she stands. She's gathering intel. She wants to know if you're broken, if you've moved on, if there's another woman, if you've glowed up. Because knowing that gives her leverage. And if she finds out you're still stuck, still hurting, still waiting, she knows she still has you. She can move comfortably, knowing her place in your heart hasn't changed. But if she hears you're thriving, building, growing, without her, then the illusion shatters. That's the reality check she's trying to avoid. So she asks, she prods, she pokes, but always from a safe distance, always from behind the curtain. And this is where your discipline gets tested. Because the second you respond, the second you message her, the second you bring up that friend's comment, you've handed her the validation she was fishing for. You've given her the emotional power without her ever having to earn it. That's not stoic. That's surrender. You see, Stoicism is about enduring hardship without being controlled by it. It's about mastering your responses when everything inside you is screaming for reaction. And this is one of those moments. She asks about you. Your ego inflates. Your hope surges. But your wisdom tells you, don't move, don't reach. Let her wonder. Let her sit with the decision she made. Because only when she feels your absence fully, not just your silence, will she confront what she truly wants. And maybe that means she reaches out. Maybe that means she doesn't. But either way, you stay in control. Not by manipulating, not by pretending, but by simply refusing to be emotionally baited. You keep building, you keep growing, you keep writing your story without her approval or her inquiries. And if your mutual friends mention her name again, smile politely, acknowledge it, then pivot. Because a man who knows his worth doesn't chase questions. He demands answers through action. And if she won't provide those actions herself, then her curiosity is irrelevant. Let her ask, Let her wonder. But you move forward, always. Number 3, she keeps your photos up. You've stopped talking. The last message was either unread or left on read. Maybe the final words between you were sharp, or maybe they were silent and cold, like something that never got a proper ending. Yet when you check her social media, her digital world, where every image is curated, polished and chosen with surgical intent, you're still there. Your face, your laugh, that beach trip, that dinner, that selfie she once begged you to retake because it wasn't perfect. It's all still there, untouched, not deleted, not archived, not replaced. And that's not carelessness. It's not laziness. It's intention. Because in a world where a photo disappears with one tap, the ones she chooses to keep are statements. Whether she realizes it or not, she's sending a signal. You're not erased. That's not a random decision. That's a message designed for you to see. And the truth is, no woman who wants you out of her mind completely leaves your memory in plain view of everyone else. If she truly wanted to move on, if she were done, detached, disinterested, you wouldn't exist on her feed. You wouldn't be part of the story she continues to tell the world. You'd be gone, rewritten, erased like a mistake. But you're still there, frozen in time, not because she's proud of the past, but because she hasn't figured out what to do with the part of herself that still lingers there. And this is the trap most men fall into. Thinking a picture is proof of love. It's not. It's proof of emotional indecision, of unfinished emotions, of a door that might be closed but never fully locked. And here's what's worse. It's not always about you. Sometimes she leaves you up because of what others see in those photos. Maybe her friends comment on how happy she looked with you. Maybe her family loved you. Maybe those posts performed well, and deleting them would feel like erasing a version of herself she's not ready to let go of. It's about more than the image. It's about what the image represents. And yet, you're still the one analyzing it. You're still the one wondering what it means. You're still the one hoping that because the picture remains, maybe the feelings do too. That's where your peace dies. Because you're giving power to nostalgia instead of presence. You're giving weight to what was instead of what is. And in doing so, you stop moving forward. You trap yourself in a digital frame, hanging on her wall, waiting to be taken down, or worse, waiting to be acknowledged again. But real growth demands detachment from the need for signs. If a photo remains, let it remain. Let it serve as a monument to who you were, not who you are becoming. Don't reach out because of a picture. Don't fall back into the trap of assumption. Let her keep the image. Let her scroll past it daily. Because every time she sees it, she's not just remembering you. She's confronting the weight of what she walked away from. And that is her burden, not yours. A man who's rebuilding doesn't ask why he's still on her wall. He builds a new house where he doesn't need to be remembered, because he's too busy being unforgettable. Number 4. She's not dating anyone publicly. You've moved through the hardest weeks. The silence has turned into a daily rhythm. The notifications you used to wait for, gone. The mutual plans, cancelled. The emotional connection, broken. But there's one thing that stands out in the vacuum she left behind. She hasn't shown up with anyone new. Not in her stories, not in her photos, not in a subtle tag on a dinner post, not in a single hint that another man has filled your spot. And for a moment, your heart flickers. Could it mean she's still waiting? Could she still be thinking of you? Why hasn't she made it clear she's moved on? And that is exactly why this signal is more dangerous than most. Because inaction in this space can speak louder than action. If she was truly done, truly indifferent, truly on to the next chapter, she'd show it. She'd parade it. She'd want the world, and you, to see it. Not because she needs to gloat, but because that's what people do when they feel secure in their choices. They build new stories. So when there's nothing No new man, no new romantic posts, just her alone in filtered moments of what seems like fun. You need to understand something vital. She's not sharing because she hasn't let go. Or worse, she's waiting to see if you're going to step back in. It's the open-ended message, I'm single, but only publicly. That space is left intentionally empty. She's giving herself the option to pivot back without facing the guilt of appearing like she moved on too fast. And she's also creating emotional curiosity within you. Because silence is louder when it's strategic. The absence of a replacement is a message she hopes you hear as, you still matter. But if you reach out, you break the frame. You become the one who jumped back first. And in that moment, her silence becomes your defeat. Because now, she knows you were still watching, still waiting, still hoping. And the illusion of her solitude becomes her advantage. You become the one chasing a vacancy that might not even be real. And here's the deeper truth no one tells you. She might be talking to someone. She might be dating behind closed doors. But she's keeping it off-grid in case she needs to come back to you, in case the other man doesn't live up to the bar you set. And that, right there, is the most dangerous position you can be in. A backup plan who thinks he still has a shot. You can't be the man she circles back to when everything else fails. You must be the man she regrets losing when no one else compares. And that only happens when you don't wait, when you don't chase, when you don't assume her digital silence is loyalty. A man who understands his worth doesn't care if she posts a new boyfriend or not, because he's not checking, he's building, he's outgrowing the chapter while she's rereading the pages. So if she's not dating publicly, let her enjoy the emptiness she created. Let her sit with her decision, and let her realize, when it's too late, that the man who would have given her the world stopped giving her access to it. Number 5, she's not blocking you. You can still see her profile. Her stories are public. Her name still sits in your followers list. Your messages haven't bounced back with a user not found. Your access remains, and yet no words, no actions, just that eerie openness, that strange digital closeness that feels like standing at a door that's ajar but never opening. And you need to understand something. That's not just avoidance, that's calculated. Because if she truly wanted distance, she'd take it. She knows how. Every woman knows how to remove you from her digital world. It's as easy as 2 taps, block, remove, erase. But when she doesn't, when she keeps the window open just enough for you to peek in, but not enough for you to climb through, that's not forgetfulness, that's a test. A psychological game where she maintains just enough presence in your feed to remain relevant, to keep you thinking, wondering, questioning. And that's exactly what she wants. She wants to be remembered without responsibility. She wants your mind without your presence. And that space, where you're not with her but still have access to her, is where most men lose themselves. They check her profile like it's a ritual. Wake up, scroll, see if she's posted, see if there's someone new, see if the captions feel like signals. And every day that she hasn't blocked you becomes another day that hope whispers, maybe she still cares. But that's the illusion. The fact she hasn't blocked you isn't a promise. It's a puzzle. And it's a trap if you try to solve it. Because when you reach out, when you take that remaining access and treat it as permission, you lose. You become the man who chased presence instead of purpose. And she becomes the woman who learned she can keep your heart with nothing but silence. That is power. Not the kind that heals, but the kind that controls. And you give her that control when you treat the lack of a block as an invitation. Real women block when they need closure. Real detachment looks like digital death. No trace, no access, no window to crawl through. So if she hasn't done that, know this. You're not completely gone in her eyes, but you're not fully present either. You're somewhere in between. a placeholder, a what if, a comfort zone that costs her nothing. And your only play is to make that decision for her. Because a man who values his energy doesn't wait to be deleted. He removes himself, not out of spite, not to provoke, but because he respects himself too much to exist in emotional limbo. Remove her quietly, mute her stories, stop checking. Not because you hate her, but because you're done letting access dictate your peace. Because your growth doesn't need an audience, and the woman who couldn't speak to you doesn't deserve a front row seat to your evolution. Number 6. She makes herself look unreachable. The glow-up hits fast. Her pictures change. The lighting is perfect. The outfits are tighter, styled with care. The captions shift from reflective to radiant. Suddenly she looks happier, stronger, more alive than she ever seemed when she was with you. And every image, every carefully angled photo, every subtly flirtatious post makes you stop and wonder, has she moved on? Is she finally over me? But what you're seeing isn't transformation. It's a message. She's not showing you the new her. She's showing you the version of herself she wants you to think exists. A woman who doesn't need you, who's better off, who's completely untouchable. And that's the sign you've been missing. Because people don't overexpress what they're actually experiencing. They broadcast what they're trying to believe. She wants to appear out of reach, so you will reach. That's the paradox. The more unreachable she looks, the more she's hoping you'll chase. It's psychological. She's creating distance that feels emotional, not physical. And in doing so, she's testing your response. Will you break? Will you question your worth? Will you start comparing yourself to her new highlights and feel like you were the problem? And here's where most men crumble. They believe what they see instead of trusting what they know. They forget the fights, the disconnect, the moments she looked lost even when you were right beside her. And they replace it with this new image, this polished stranger who seems to be thriving. But this isn't real. It's curated pain disguised as peace, a performance of happiness, not the experience of it. And the reason she's doing it, because if she looked broken, she'd feel weak. But if she looks desired, wanted, magnetic, then maybe, just maybe, she'll lure you back. Not because she wants you, but because she needs to know she still has influence. It's about reaction. And every time you watch, comment, like, or engage, you feed that need. You confirm her strategy is working. You validate the image she's trying to project. But what she never expects is indifference. What she fears most is being ignored. Because then the glow-up feels invisible. Then she starts asking, did he really let go? And that's where your power lies, in silence, in non-response, in the daily grind that isn't documented, but felt in your discipline. You don't need to prove you're better off. You become better off. You don't post to impress. You build so powerfully that your absence becomes a presence too loud to ignore. And when she realizes her new image didn't bring you back, she's forced to confront the old version of herself, the one who lost you. Not because she made a mistake in posting, but because you made a decision in growing. She makes herself look unreachable not because she's over you, but because she wants you to think you never reached her in the first place. But the truth? You were never beneath her. You were just the man she couldn't replace. Number 7. Passive likes and ghost engagement. It always starts small, a notification you didn't expect. She liked a photo from 2 months ago. She watched your story at 2:13 a.m. She reacts with a random emoji. No comment, no message. Just a subtle ping that echoes far louder than it should. And suddenly you feel something move in your chest. Not because the act was grand, but because of who it came from. She said nothing, but somehow it meant everything. This is the mind trap most men don't realize they're walking into. This isn't her trying to reconnect. This is her trying to measure something. She's not giving you affection. She's collecting your reaction. She wants to see if you're still emotionally available, still mentally occupied, still paying attention. So she tosses a signal your way, not to build a bridge, but to bait a step. And if you take it, if you reach out, reply, or send a message, you've done exactly what she needed. You've proved she still has space in your mind. And in that moment, she gets all the validation, all the power, without risking anything. You showed your cards, you exposed your hand, all because of a like. But what you missed is that she's doing this on purpose. Women don't accidentally engage this way. When they're done, they vanish. But when they want to keep your attention without offering theirs, they show up just enough to stir you, then disappear again to maintain the mystery. This is emotional manipulation disguised as harmless engagement. She doesn't want a conversation. She wants your attention back in orbit. She wants you chasing the possibility of what might happen, even though nothing actually will. And when you fall for it, when you message and get left on scene, you've played yourself. She was never trying to build a new connection. She was checking the leash. And that's where the truth slaps hardest. Because most men think, if she's engaging, she's interested. No, if she were truly interested, she'd talk, she'd ask, she'd show up. This is bait, and you don't feed the bait, you walk past it. You let her play her quiet game and stay silent. Because silence is what kills the strategy. The second she realizes her late-night emoji didn't move you, her illusion cracks. The game only works when you participate. When you stop playing, the power returns to you. Because a man who's rebuilding doesn't flinch at digital crumbs. He doesn't respond to half-hearted signals. He only invests where there is intention. So mute her. Ignore the view count. Don't check who liked what or when. You're not here to validate someone's ego. You're here to rise above the noise. Because if she really missed you, if she really wanted you back, you wouldn't be decoding emojis. You'd be answering a call. Number 8. She brings up memories without saying your name. You haven't spoken in weeks, maybe months. She hasn't called. She hasn't reached out. But one day you're scrolling, and there it is. A quote you both used to laugh at. A song you played every weekend. A caption that sounds like something she once whispered in your ear. She's not tagging you. She's not mentioning your name. But every line, every image, every emotional breadcrumb is familiar. It's personal. It's surgical. And it hits like a wave you didn't expect. You tell yourself it's coincidence. But deep down, you know better. She's talking to you without talking to you. She's reaching out without reaching out. And this is one of the most manipulative signs there is, because it's subtle, indirect, and completely deniable. If you call her out, she'll say, "It wasn't about you." If you message, she'll act surprised. But that's the move. It's designed to stir the memory without taking accountability. It's an emotional trap dressed as poetry. And this is where the harsh reality cuts deepest. If she wanted to fix things, she wouldn't be hiding behind cryptic messages. She'd speak. She'd own it. She'd take the risk of real vulnerability. But she doesn't. Because this isn't about reconnection. It's about reassurance. She wants to feel like she still lives in your head. She wants to plant a seed of nostalgia and water it with doubt. And if you bite, if you reply, mention the post, or try to reignite the spark, you validate her position. You prove she can still move your emotions from a distance, and she gets what she wants: power without presence. This is how she maintains the illusion that she's above the need to communicate, while still craving the attention of the man she left behind. But you're not a symbol. You're not a ghost she can summon when she feels lonely. You're not someone's emotional insurance policy for when the nights get long and the replacements fall short. You're a man who knows the difference between reflection and reality. And you refuse to be drawn back into a connection that only exists through suggestion. So when she posts that old lyric, that nostalgic throwback, that line that only the two of you would understand, recognize it for what it is. Weakness disguised as strength. She's not strong enough to speak, so she whispers through timelines. And your silence, your refusal to respond, becomes the echo she didn't expect. Let her remember. Let her post. Let her talk to the wall and pretend it's a window. But you build new memories. You write new stories. You become the man she can't reduce to a quote. Because she may not say your name, but in every word, in every post, in every shadow of what you once were, she's hoping you'll speak first. And when you don't, that's when the message finally reaches her. The man she thought she could hold with silence has finally walked away for good. If this hit you in places you didn't expect, it's because deep down, you already knew. You just needed someone to say it out loud. Comment, "No more breadcrumbs," if you've finally seen through the silence and taken your power back. Like this video and subscribe to help more men find these truths before they waste years chasing women who feed them crumbs and call it love. And if you're ready to stop guessing, stop hurting, and start rebuilding into the man no one forgets, the ebook that's already saved thousands of men is linked in the comments. It's not for everyone, and it won't be public for long. But if you're serious about clarity, power, and freedom, grab it right now and take back your power.